Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. English BSc Annual 2008. Attempt any two questions from Section A. 1A. The Open Window by H. H. Munro is a story full of suspense and irony that keeps the reader's interest alive till the final sentence. Comment. Or point out the elements of suspense and irony that keeps the reader's interest alive till the final sentence. Comment. B. Write brief notes on the following characters. 1. Mrs. Stapleton. 2. Frampton Nuttall. 2a. Recapitulate Lewis's series of reasons for believing that there is a law of nature, that there is a real right or wrong. Right and Wrong by C.S. Lewis. 2b. Is it right or wrong not to practice ourselves the kind of behavior we expect from other people? 3a. How the Poor Die by George is a pathetical and critical description of the public ward of the French hospital. Discuss. Or, what kind of treatment did the writer get at the French hospital? 3b. How does the French hospital where Orville stayed compare with the hospitals in England? 4a. The End of Road is a story of Europeans' acceptance of Islam and is based on the author's unique experience upon the road he has travelled. Or question number 4a. What is the author's first experience as a Muslim among Muslims? 4b. How can the Muslims retain their own inner freedom and pass on to the Western man the last secret of life's sweetness? 4b. Write a short note on science is neither Western nor Eastern. Section B. Question number 5. Read the passage carefully and answer the questions. Once we have found the habit of looking within, listening to ourselves and responding to our own impulses and feelings, we shall not let ourselves to so easily the victims of uncontrollable emotions and efforts. The inner life, instead of being either a gaping void or a ghoulish nightmare, will be open to cultivation, and in both personal conduct and in art will bring us into more fruitful and loving relations with other men, whose hidden depth will flow through the symbols of arts into our own. At the point we can nourish life again more intensely from the outside too, opening our minds to every touch and sight and sound, instead of anesthetizing ourselves continuously too much that goes on around us, because it has become so meaningless, so unrelated to our inner needs. With such self-discipline, we shall in time control the tempo and rhythm of our days, control the quality of stimuli that impinge on us, control our attention so that the things we do shall reflect our purposes and values as human beings, not the extraneous purposes and values of the machine. Questions. A. How can we control our emotions? B. How can we cultivate loving relations with other men? C. What is meant by the phrase the extraneous purposes and values of the machine? D. Make a preface and suggest a suitable title to it. 6. As a newspaper reporter, make a survey report on usages of mobile phone among students with conclusion and suggestions. 7. Write an essay of 200 words. A. Terrorism. B. Unemployment and Pakistani youth. C. Human rights abuses. D. Role of electronic media. 8. Translate into English. जो लोग खुदगर्ज हैं, महज हसूले ज़र के लिए कोशां रहते हैं, इनका नज़रिया सिर्फ पैसा होता है, चाहे रिश्वत से हासिल करें या मिलावट से, ज़ख़ीरा अंदोज़ी से या स्मगलिंग से, गलत ज़राए से पैसे कमाने वाले मुल्क के दुश्मन हैं, अवाम के कातिल हैं, ये लोग वतन के गद्दार हैं, नंगे वतन हैं, ये नाकाबिले माफ़ी हैं, हर मुहिब्बे वतन को इन पर कड़ी नज़र रखनी चाहिए. Difficult words with meanings. Respond, acknowledge, counter, reciprocate. Ghoulish, old, awful, nasty, ominous, weird. Conduct, सलूक, रहनुमाई या अमल. केयर, एग्जीक्यूशन, handling, oversight, anesthetizing, temporary loss of bodily sensations, tempo, चाल, bounce, cadence, downbeat, pace, rhythm, accent, flow, lilt, rhyme, stimuli, tahrik, bang, boost, eye opener, flip, impings, उड़ने के काबिल बनाना, brat, demon, devil. English BSc Supplementary 2008. Attempt any two questions from Section A. Section B is compulsory. 1A. What are the specific traits due to which man cannot claim to approach even the meanest of the higher animals? Discuss with reference to The Damned Human Race by Mark Twain. B. Quote some examples when man has really stood by his fellow man in catastrophic conditions and deserved the title The Crown of the Creation. 2A. In what ways does Bertrand Russell advocate the place of science in a system of liberal education? B. What according to Russell is the fault of classical or literary education? 3A. In The Lost Childhood, what connections does Graham Greene establish between childhood and books? What did he gain from his reading of Marjorie Bound's novel? 3B. Greene says of each was a crystal. What does by means by this? 4A. What kind of life has been presented in this story? Do you find it ironical? August 2026. There Will Come Soft Rains by Ray Bradbury. 4B. What is the effect of the Teasdale poem in this story? Does its theme relate to the theme of the story? Section B. Question number 5. Read and answer the questions. An archaeologist studies the past and from the evidence he can find, builds up a picture of how people lived. He is able to reconstruct the daily lives of men and women who lived thousands of years ago by studying scientifically the things which those men and women have left behind them. He prepares lists and compares their weapons and tools, their posts, needles and combs, and the ruined homes and graves in which these prehistoric possessions, and found what kind of facts can be archaeologists learn from these random survival of the past. From the weapons he judges the size of the animals their owners could kill. From the tools he sees what crafts they had mastered. From the parts, needles and combs he assesses the domestic skills and fashions of their wives. And from their graves and more, especially the objects found inside the graves, he understands primitive man's hopes and fears of an after life. With the archaeologist's help, it is now possible to give it some details about 9,000 years of history in the Middle East, and to write a generally reliable account of human evolution going back some 500,000 years. Question number 1. How does an archaeologist learn about the lives of men and women who lived thousands of years ago? 2. Describe in your own words some of the facts that an archaeologist learns from the objects of prehistoric times. 3. To what extent has archaeologist helped us in our study of world history? 4. Make a preface and suggest a suitable title to it. Write a survey report on child labor to a newspaper. Question number 7. Write an essay of 200 words. 1. The worst disaster in history. 2. Sectarianism. 3. Why do marriages fail? 4. Drug addiction. Question number 8. Translate into English. 28 मई का दिन पाकिस्तान की तारीख में बहुत अहमियत का हामिल है। इस दिन पाकिस्तान ने एटमी धमाका किया और दुनिया की 7वीं एटमी ताकत बन गया। पाकिस्तान के साइंसदानों ने अपने मुल्क के लिए बहुत जांफशानी से काम किया। वो अपनी रिसर्च लेबॉर्ट्रियों में दिन रात काम करते रहे और बिल आखिर एटम बम बनाने में कामयाब हो गए। हम अपनी मेहनती साइंसदानों को खाजे कीदत पेश करते हैं। उन्होंने मुल्क के लिए इज्जत जीती है।